Quads, welcome back to another review, and this time we're looking at the Pavo 20 from Betafpv. Now, I'm going to aim this review towards the newbie and intermediate end of the FPV scale, and that's considering the Pavo 20 doesn't actually come with the DJI O3 included. You do have to install it yourself. However, the process is ridiculously easy. It's a case of literally plugging a cable in to the flight controller and into the O3 and you are done. A couple of screws and away you go. But what do you get for a mere $100 US? So you get the drone, and it comes in a ready to fly configuration. So you can either have ELRS as your receiver option or TBS Crossfire. The TBS Crossfire version is significantly more expensive. It adds an extra $40 to the price. Now, there was once upon a time a day when TBS Crossfire was the only thing to select with a bind and fly quad. But ELRS now is all I fly and all most people I know fly. TBS Crossfire is brilliant, is bulletproof. However, especially for a quad like this, ELRS is more than acceptable. So the quad itself is a 2-inch Cinewehoop, I suppose you would call it. It weighs under 150 grams. You can also put a Cadex Vista or a Runcan Link in there instead of an O3 if you want. I'm not sure why you would do that, because that would add to the weight if you was to add a HD camera like a Cadex Peanut or a naked GoPro. The truth be told, if you mess with the settings enough, and it's taken me a good year to get them, I think, right. Now, some of the shots on here are not perfect because the epiphany I had with the DJI O3 was actually this weekend when I really sat down and dug into the details. However, once you do that, you can make it look really, really good. And for the majority of things you're going to do with this, you don't need anything else. So I personally would advise against a Runcan Link or a Cadex Vista for this. I did reach out to Betafpv and ask if the new Cadex Moonlight would fit, and I was told it's too big. So that's just something to be aware of. Looking at the Moonlight I've got in one of my quads, it's just a little bit wider and a little bit deeper and a little bit thicker. So perhaps Betafpv may adjust it and make a slightly bigger canopy. Perhaps even may be able to 3D print something. But at the minute, it's not available. So that's where we're at. Now, where this really shines, in my opinion, is it's actually a 3S. It does also come included with lights, a COB LED strip. Now, mine was damaged upon arrival. It took me a couple of minutes to resolder. I think they call it pig soldering, and that obviously got it working fine. It's been fine ever since. It was either damaged in shipping or it was just a fault in manufacturer. To somebody like me who can fix things, it's not a problem. However, if this was your first quad, it wouldn't have left a very good impression. And this is the slightly bigger brother than the Pavo Pico that Betafpv also provide. The Pavo Pico using slightly smaller batteries, I believe a 2S, and slightly smaller props as well. Both will fit obviously the O3. So before we come to a couple of test flights, let's have a look at what's included in the box. Obviously you get the actual quadcopter or the drone itself. You get the HD VTX injected molded bracket, which is really good quality, to be fair. Obviously you get the screws for it, you get the LED strip for it. Included is an ice blue. What I do like about this as well is it's really easy to change it if you wanted to. You could just unplug it, take it off and put a new one on, and it's literally, there is a plug included, there's no soldering, and away you go. You do get 4 propellers included on the drone, and then you also get a spare set of 4 propellers as well. Now personally, these are not propellers that I will recommend, and we'll get into that as we go through the test flights and then the review flights. And you also get a USB Type-C adapter board. Do not lose this. If you lose this, you won't be able to plug your quad into Betaflight to make any changes that you need to. Really important that. And that's it. Setup is dead easy. I've got to be honest, I've not even changed anything to do with the tune on it. I've left the tune completely stock. Okay, so we have taken flight with the Betafpv Pavo 20. There is a horde of birds that have just decided to fly straight to the direction of the drone. But we are, again, we're just trying the sort of newbie type flight, so we're just going to do a little circuit around the field first of all. And we're just going to see how it goes. Just nice and easy. Now then, we're going to pick up a little bit of speed and we are going to fly and chill, because that's our favourite thing to do, is to fly and chill. Now there is quite a wind on the up leg side of things, so we just need to put a little bit more pitch into it. But this is so easy to fly. This actually doesn't feel like it's got any ducks on it whatsoever. This just feels like I'm flying a micro quad. They're very similar to a 3-inch, just with a little less power because it's 3S. But it's really easy to fly. People are pointing up at the drone because I've got the LEDs on. With me being around at the park, it is early morning again, but I've got the LEDs on because obviously as we're getting closer to summer, more and more people are out here. So we're just keeping things safe. We've got a spotter watching things, seeing if Mr. Whiskey Man comes back today. But this is just super easy to fly. It is a bit loud. It's louder. Just wait for this car to go. It is louder than the Tinywhoop from Newbie drone, and I dare say that will be down to the ducks. Now, oh, that person's trying to take a picture of the drone. People love it. People absolutely love it. As long as you're not flying something that is like really aggressive, like a 5-inch. People love to see it. People love to interact with it. I've had more positive conversations than negative conversations, and with these micros, people really love them even more. Okay, so we are in the final location with the Pavo 20, and we're doing our final review test flight. And we're going to first of all take it down this path. This is cyclist coming the other way. Thank you to the spotter for telling me about that. So we're going to go over this side. So really important to note, the flight envelope and manoeuvrability of this is better than you would expect. The thing to note, however, is it is quite noisy. So you can't really use it discreetly. Because of the ducts, it does generate more noise than a drone of its size that doesn't have ducts. So, for example, the Newbie drone Tinywhoop that I've just finished my review of is quieter than this despite having larger props, and that is purely down to the ducts. So that's something to bear in mind. However, again, as I mentioned previously in the review, you can fly this pretty much anywhere, obviously apart from the usual places, prisons, airports, etc. Because it's under 250 grams, you can fly near people, you can fly over people, and also because of the ducts, it makes it great for indoor sort of shooting, similar to the pub shootings that I've done recently. There are some more things planned for the channel later on
this summer, if we ever get a summer. But as you can see, the maneuverability and control of this is just so easy. My advice, and I'm going to put this in the main review, and I think I've mentioned it in a previous fly, is these props are a little bit loose. Now, for somebody who is a bit more experienced, it's not too bad. You can sort of guess where it's going to happen, and you can sort of fly around it almost. But for anybody who is new to FPV, I've got to be honest, it does feel a bit loose. So you might want to change these props for at least tri-blades. I've got quad blades on my 4S Tinywhoop of this size, so it could well do with quad blades, but at the very least I would recommend bi-blades. Now, it doesn't come with any, so I would always recommend HQ props. Those are, from a freestyle point of view and from an FPV point of view, my go-to props. I have been sent a massive care package of HQ props, so I'll see if I have anything available in there for this. When it comes to flying Mavics, etc., Master Air Screw is the way to go. We have a review of Master Air Screw props coming up shortly. Again, we're just waiting for the weather, just to make... obviously it's a bit dull and miserable in the UK and lots of rain. I've not been particularly well myself, so it may take a little bit of a while. We've got reviews coming of fly colour stacks and fly colour flight controllers, and we've also got the Betafpv Pavo X as well. But I think, off the shelf, if I was to recommend a 2-inch ducted drone off the shelf with no modifications, so far this is the one that's impressed me the most when it comes to outdoor flying, freestyle and all that sort of jazz. Now, obviously you may have seen that I have done a massive modification to my fly with fly lens and made it into a 4S. That thing is unbelievable, but obviously that's not really newbie friendly. That's not something that you can just go and buy off the shelf. You can't just buy one of those. And then obviously what we're going to do is we're going to review the Mobular 8, kindly donated to us by Barry Morgan FPV, and then we're going to compare all three of them together. But so far, for outdoor flying and a little bit of light freestyle, off the shelf, this is the best one. Because even as a newbie, you're able to change props. That's not a problem. What you're not able to do as a newbie is change the flight controller, the motors, reprogram it, turn it into something that it never was in the first place. So, in that respect, the Betafpv Pavo 20 is by far the best of these 2-inch ducted whoops so far when it comes to outdoor flight. Now then, this battery's about to die, so let's head back into the studio, and I'm going to hand back over to Quads and he can finish up this review.
So, as always, the final question when it comes to our reviews is, should you buy it? And my honest answer is yes. There's a few points to note. The propellers, I think, personally, that are included need to be changed, ideally by Betafpv before they continue to sell this kit. I really think this should have at least tri-blade propellers on it, especially with the fact it's 3S. That's unlikely to happen, but that's something I'm going to put out there anyway. You can buy a set of propellers, and I would always recommend HQ propellers for a couple of £. If you're in the UK, a couple of bucks. If you're in America, a couple of euros. If you're in Europe, a couple of something else. If you're somewhere else. My point is they're really not expensive, so get them changed for tri-blade propellers. My advice to you is, if you're a newbie, get them changed to tri-blade propellers before you actually have your first fly. The quality of the injected moulded plastic is absolutely brilliant. The LEDs are fantastic. Again, like I said, I did have that issue where mine arrived damaged. I didn't reach out to Betafpv because I was able to fix it myself. I dare say if I'd have reached out to them, they would have probably have replaced it. However, I can't guarantee if that's the case because I didn't do. Well, I probably should have reached out to them, to be fair. You can change the LEDs yourself because they are just on a plug. If you wanted to change colour, and Betafpv provide, I think, red, green, white. Yeah, and obviously the blue that it comes with. And the thing is, it's only $100. And it for what you get and how good this flies, it's really hard not to recommend it, even to a newbie who's like, oh well, I don't know how to fit an 03. I mean, it's 4 screws and 1 cable. There's very little that can go wrong. So I'm struggling to not be able to recommend it. I'm struggling to be able to say, yes, but I mean, sure, I think the propellers is one issue, and I think another issue it would be if Betafpv could provide it as a total ready to fly, where they included the 03 as well. That would be better. But I mean, it, like I say, it's 4 screws and a cable, so it's not. Obviously, if you can't do that, and I'm being really careful how I select my words here, but if you can't do that, then there are going to be other things in the hobby that you're going to struggle with. So I think realistically, what they've done is probably about right. It's robust. It freestyles well. It's cinematically. It flies cinematically really well. It's just a really, really good quad. And like I said, because it's 3S, you can also take it outside as well. So if you are just starting in the hobby, it's perfect for indoors. It's perfect for outdoors. I would say potentially it might have a little bit too much power for some of our UK houses. So some of our UK power that it's got, but you can always go into Betaflight and dial that power right down. You can put like a throttle limit on it within Betaflight. And if you don't know how to do that, drop a comment below. I'm more than happy to talk you through the process. So yeah. As far as I'm concerned, this is an absolute purchase, in my opinion. I didn't receive this for free. I haven't given editorial control over this review to anybody, and nobody has seen this review before it's gone out. These are all my own thoughts. I get asked lots as a newbie, what should I buy? And realistically, as somebody who has that much more level of experience, I think it's a good thing for me to take the channel down the direction of trying to help the people that come see me flying how I fly and say, I want to start on my road to that. What do I do? Where this drone also excels is this can be used for indoor commercial work. If you've seen some of the things I've done earlier on, that was done using the Tinywhoop Flylens 2S. Obviously this is a 3S, so you're going to have that much more power and control over it. And also the Tinywhoop had an inherent problem with the flight controller, hence why if you've seen any of the shorts recently, you'll have noticed that the Tinywhoop is no longer a 2S. The Tinywhoop is now a 4S 2-inch whoop, which is just crazy, and I'll detail that later on. So if you're a newbie, brilliant. If you're an established pilot and you want to do some commercial work indoors, or even just filming your kids at the park playing football, I've done that with this. My kids have been playing football and I've filmed them with this. It's not going to hurt them if it gets too near them because of the ducts and the weight, and you get some really unique home videos from it. So yes, overall, absolutely, it's a purchase for me. I'll leave a link down below in the description below to buy your own. If you're not sure which one to buy, if you are a newbie and you're thinking, do I buy this one, do I buy that, do I need this, do I need that, just drop a comment below and I will help you with your purchase. And please remember that the link below is not an affiliate link. I make no money from any sales that Betafpv happen to take from this video. This is just me trying to help you as the community. But for the sake of $100, if you're not sure you want to get into the hobby, jump on this, because this is brilliant. If you need any help, that's what I'm here for. I remember when I first started in the hobby, I really struggled with things, and I was asking what I projected as the stupidest questions. Ultimately they weren't. If you don't know a question, you don't know, and it doesn't matter, just ask away and somebody like me will help you. And if I'm not available at the time, there's no doubt somebody else in the comments will jump in and help you. But yeah, that's what it's all about. I'm here to try and foster and to grow a community of pilots that help and support each other. And if I can do that by getting more people into the hobby by saying, actually, yes, if you're not sure, get one of these, then go for it. $100, it's a no-brainer. The link is in the description below. It's a non-affiliate link. I make no money from it. Any questions, just drop a comment below. Until next time, I've been Quads. You've all been amazing. Peace.